For the time being, let's take you out to another main headline as the retirement of Nancy Pelosi, what it could mean for her district in California, but also another aspect. Let's listen in to this interview. Here to Live Now from Fox, I'm Andy Mack. It's an end of an era as late last week, Nancy Pelosi announced her retirement. And one of the main aspects around all of that, one that so many people are talking about, is her investing prowess, as Pelosi has been so good at it, and even startup has come from it called Autopilot, started to allow investors to directly mirror Pelosi's portfolio. You can see a post on social media. They're set to retire in 2027. The queen of stock trading officially hanging it up. And of course, we're continuing to dive into that as she's been so good that more than 3 million people invested in $1 billion using the app. Pelosi's portfolio returned an incredible 816%, according to public disclosure records. The S&P in that time frame, over 30 plus years, only returned roughly 229%. Let's be joined right now by co-founder of Autopilot, Chris Joseph. Thank you so much for joining us here on Live Now from Fox. And obviously, Pelosi's retirement doesn't really change a ton for you, but take me through it. What was the thought when you go through your mind? Because obviously the Pelosi Tracker is so very popular. It's an end of an era. What goes through your mind?
Yeah, it's end of an era is probably the best way to describe it. It's a little bittersweet. You wake up in the morning, you're like, okay, it's another day, it's another Friday. Then you start seeing the news like, oh, Nancy Pelosi is about to retire. What does that mean for our stock portfolio? What does that mean for our app? What does that mean for our company? But it's a little bit bittersweet because we've been able to build these accounts from 0 to, I think, 2 million plus followers. We've been trying to get this freaking ban through. They still haven't passed the thing. Like, fingers crossed that they keep the momentum up. But we are happy that she is putting kind of like retiring, moving on, going to hang out with her grandchildren. But with our app, we have a lot more planned. And it's great that we were able to kind of bring this to light, allow more and more people to see the hypocrisy of what's going on. And meanwhile, in the meantime, they made some money too.
Yeah, that is so very true. Obviously, 816% or so. That is just an astronomical number. Talk me through the origination, the genesis of this idea, because you talk about Autopilot, the mirroring of Pelosi. How does it exactly work?
So back in 2020, me and a couple buddies, we saw that Nancy Pelosi was making some pretty good stock trades. And at the time, there was really only, the way to follow it on social media. You can get push notifications and the kind of things of that nature, but there was no way to actually trade alongside her. So when we started, we were like, what better way to highlight the hypocrisy of the politicians actually trading than to literally build the first way to copy trade her? And that's kind of what we did. We launched it in 2023. It's been very popular. And the way that it works is people just go in, they connect their personal broker. So if they got a Robinhood, if they got a Charles Schwab, you just connect it, allocate some money to follow the Pelosi Tracker or any of the other politicians we got. It's not just her. And then any trade they file, everyone following them automatically does that same thing too. So if you see that kind of chart right there, that Tempest trade, she filed that at the beginning of the year, January 20th. Ever since then, all the people copy traded that pick and they're up like 60 or 70%, all by just literally having Nancy Pelosi pick their stocks for them.
And can you tell me through the money that is made? Because obviously when Nancy Pelosi wins, now through Autopilot, everybody wins. Can you talk us through some of the finances of this? How much money have people made copying these trades?
So when we started, that 800% number, that goes back to before we started. So the numbers that I can speak to are from January 23 until now. And since we tracked it, even with the filings, people always say, oh, the delay has a big effect. It really doesn't. She's up around 240%. In that time period, we've had $550 million now coming in and trading alongside her. And then the other $500 million is following her colleagues, Dan Crenshaw on them, and then other portfolios. But on the profit side, people have profited millions. I mean, we have a couple guys and girls that have a couple $1 million trading alongside Nancy. So if they're up 30 to 40%, that's $500,000 to $600,000 in profits. But since we're registered with the SEC, we can't be too open about the returns and all that stuff. But people have profited, and it's been actually more surprising to me that the strategy actually has worked this well. We started it not to make people money. We started it to literally try and get this freaking ban through again. But now since, ever since then, all of her picks have worked out well. Every single pick we've been following her, she's up on. So people have profited millions.
It's incredible, just the omnipresent, the omniscience of all of this. And of course, Nancy Pelosi is retiring 2027. She goes out the door. You post this on social media for all those autopiling. This gives us until 2027 to keep getting those trade updates, something big planned. Stay tuned. Now that Nancy Pelosi potentially is gone, you guys are still going to continue to do this, correct? And also, has Nancy Pelosi kind of indicated that some of her trades, even if she isn't in kind of the Congress, do you think that will continue for her?
Yeah, so we have big plans with kind of the portfolio. We actually have another portfolio already on the app called the Notable Politician Portfolio. And that is a kind of basket of all quote unquote insider trades that we've seen other politicians make. So over time, we're going to be transitioning that portfolio of the Nancy Pelosi after 2027 into these broader stock picks. So we'll be sharing more with our clients as the weeks progress. But will she keep trading? My hunch is yes. I don't think that she'll just stop here. I think another set of trades of hers will come out at the beginning of 2026, so in 3 to 4 months. And then after that, we'll see the trades that she does, and then we'll kind of assess and go from there. But moving forward with Autopilot, not only do we have more people launching, so we have professionals launching, we had a couple AI guys that are launching their own portfolios. The plan is to bring more politicians on as well. So we got Marjorie Taylor Greene, we got Dan Crenshaw. We've launched a couple more with Mike McCall. None of them have been as good as Pelosi, transparently speaking, but we're going to keep an eye on them. And we're not going to stop until they stop. So we're sticking around.
She has been the wonderkind of kinds for this. And has Nancy Pelosi ever reached out to you? Have we had any contact with her over the time frame?
Nope. Never reached out, never sent a letter, never did a DM. We've had a couple politicians reach out, kind of asking, hey, what can we do to get this ban through? And, we've been having early conversations with them about that. But no, Nancy Pelosi's never, not once. I'll check my email. If she wants to talk, if she's looking for a job, tell her we're hiring. Hey, we'll bring on another investor. So
this could be your next career, and maybe you could team up. It could be even special, make people even more money. You mentioned, obviously, the genesis of this was potentially get that stock trading ban for Congress members. We see the reaction from different lawmakers. Senator Josh Hawley, Missouri, Nancy Pelosi retiring. Perfect time to pass the Pelosi Act, ban the stock trading by members of Congress. Also, Representative Anna Paulina Luna saying Speaker Johnson said the bill to ban insider trading going to be marked up by the committee. Do you think there is going to be movement now that the former Speaker Nancy Pelosi is out of Congress? Do you think that gives some momentum to that movement?
I think so, because I think now Nancy Pelosi has been such a prominent, on a powerful figure in DC. And my hunch would say that there have been politicians, probably even more Democrats, that didn't want to come out and outwardly support this because they didn't want to receive backlash from Nancy Pelosi and maybe kind of other people in that powerful committee. So now that she's gone, I think it does create an easier headwind, less headwinds, and easier path to get that ban through. And Josh Hawley is great. So we're here to support, help him get any more eyeballs he needs onto the act. But fingers crossed. I mean, the kind of negative is I've heard this story before. They've tried to pass this bill. It's always been tabled. They've never actually really cared. So now with Nancy Pelosi gone, the hope is people will actually do it.
Yeah, we'll see what comes of it. Obviously, movement in both chambers, that could be for a common good as well. Chris Joseph, anything else you'd like to add? Autopilot is just so very fascinating. Nancy Pelosi leaving Congress. Anything else that you want to note?
Not particularly. I mean, appreciate everyone that's kind of followed our journey. We've built this thing from 0 to millions of followers in social media. And I think we have held their feet to the fire. It hasn't necessarily just been a way to kind of have fun. We do think we're bringing more trust and transparency back into the institutions. And it starts with this ban. It's way overdue. And maybe there's a world where they get rid of the delays and it becomes even better for Autopilot. Because some people may say they should be allowed to trade, Yeah. But I just want to say thank you just for everyone that's been following it. If you ever want to chat with us, we answer every DM. We're on Instagram. We're on Twitter, we're on TikTok, and let's just keep keep the momentum going until this freaking ban actually does go through.
Yeah, and the transparency thing is something that you believe everyone can kind of get behind. So we'll see what comes of it. Chris, thank you so much. Obviously, it came out of kind of nowhere, out of this tracker, and now became such a big deal. So I appreciate your time. Appreciate everything you do. Thanks again for joining us here on Live Now.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, great conversation there with Chris Joseph, the co-founder of this Nancy Pelosi stock tracker, Autopilot. Of course, for those using Autopiloting her, gives us until January 27 to get up those trade updates after we have something big planned. Stay tuned regarding this account. We won't be stopping until they get banned from stock trading. And she's not the only one, although she's kind of the one behind it. We also have this, another day, another suspicious trade. This actually came in today. April Delaney, a Democrat from Maryland, a congresswoman, disclosed purchases that caught our eye, $30,000 into LabCorp, which owns a developer of animal medicines and biotech products, and $15,000 of biotech, which makes diagnostic tools for humans and animals. She happens to sit on the House Agriculture Committee and Research and Biotech Subcommittee. So always interesting to look into some of these. They have some of these lawmakers grouped. It's very easy, thus the name Autopilot. It's also interesting to look at as, of course, Nancy Pelosi, when she won, so did those people on that, upwards of hundreds of millions of dollars.